Dragi prieteni ai dozei de alinare, iată că mă aflu în Poiana Brașov, precum vedeți, postovarul tronează aici, pe terasa restaurantului, hotelului alpin, și am asistat la o prelegere atât de interesantă despre vindecarea unor boli care par incurabile. Mă aflu la un congres de sănătate și de expansiune a conștiinței, despre evoluție, și cred că sunt din ce în ce mai benefice și mai oportune aceste evenimente, pentru că ne deschid așa în planul conștiinței și nu numai, ne pregătesc spre o evoluție interioară și, de ce nu, exterioară, propice nouă, pentru că, precum observați, vin niște vremuri foarte provocatoare. Tocmai ce discutam și cu stafful de aici și trăgeam concluzia că parcă lumea e cu susul în jos și s-a înrăit și nu mai cunoaștem reperele acelea de empatie și toleranță cu care eram cât de cât obișnuiți până într-un punct. Și cred că a venit momentul să fim vigilenți, să acționăm, mai ales că astăzi s-a declanșat și luna nouă în berbec, care instituie așa o autonomie și dreptul la inițiativă personală, și cu discernământ vă invit să faceți și voi cât mai des recurs la reperele voastre sănătoase și să nu uitați că totul ține de percepția noastră și de cum preluăm evenimentele din exterior, pentru că altfel nu știu încotro se va ajunge. Vedeți ce se întâmplă în planul internațional, ce credeți? Că astea se reverberează de fapt și între noi, cei care suntem angrenați, ori într-un anumit mediu social, ori de ce nu chiar într-o oază pe care o consideri acasă și iată, nu te mai înțelegi cu diversi participanți ai vieții, dar totul se află în credință și în puterea de a depăși aceste obstacole care nu fac altceva decât să ne propulseze, nu să ne extermine. Țineți aproape de doza de alinare și fiți atenți la prezentarea asta minunată, pusă la dispoziție de Eric din Norvegia, un om, un fermier simplu care a descoperit o șansă de vindecare, o șansă reală a bolii Lyme și nu numai. Ne-a deschis capul efectiv prin metoda pe care el o uzitează de ceva vreme și a descoperit-o, raportându-se efectiv la sursa divină, găsind frecvențe vindecătoare. Și vă avertizez ca să fiți atenți, pentru că aceasta este viitorul. Și dacă veți fi atenți, veți înțelege că totul vine la voi la momentul oportun, și informația și oamenii și modalitățile prin care veți putea aplica aceste căi de vindecare, pentru că totul stă în rezonanță și în legea atracției. Și eu am atras așa un mediu frumos aici, cu păsărele și cu munte și cu natură, ceea ce îmi place mie și mă unge pe suflet și efectiv mă vindecă de toate conflictele și de toate neînțelegerile pe care, uman, le mai ai. Uman fiind. Vă îmbrățișez, dragi prieteni, și fiți atenți cu voi, la voi și la modalitatea voastră de a reacționa la realitatea pe care voi o manifestați, culmea. Deci voi sunteți arhitecții realității a vieții voastre. Fiți împăcați că alegeți ceea ce e menit pentru voi, că sunteți călăuză pe drumul vostru, da? Nu vă pierdeți. Numai bine.
Yes.
I have a spiritual way to find it. I ask for their energy. And I have a special way in testing. And then I can find a frequency resonance and find the right frequency. And it's crazy that it happens. That is also the way that I found COVID frequencies. Because there are no frequencies that are around for COVID. I have to find them myself. And then it works and I can cure people with it. It's a little miracle, but I'm very thankful that I can do that. So everyone has a miracle. Yes? Only find out what is your miracle. Brain fog. A lot of people have brain fog. Headaches. You also. Okay. Because we are very sensitive people, and old souls, like we all are very sensitive. It is mostly the liver. The liver is overworked with poisons. And what I found out that if the liver is overworked, there are many ways how it's overworked. Pathogens, bacteria, yeast, can that produce alcohol in your intestines. So if you eat, and this mycoplasma is a bacteria with a mold effect, and a yeast is going to produce alcohol. That's the way you get beer or wine, by yeast. So the yeast bacteria or yeast mold in your intestines, if you have too much, it is making alcohol in your intestines. So this alcohol is very poisonous, more than the normal alcohol we drink. And this alcohol is going into the liver and overloading the liver totally.
It affects the sugar levels, resistance of...
Also. And then the people, the sugar levels are bad.
And it's very difficult to discover because you measure it and you have 5.1, but then you measure the monthly one and you are almost diabetic.
True. That's the whole thing. And osmosis diabetic, but it starts with that you make too much what do you call that? Insulin. Insulin. You make too much insulin. And then you have an insulin shock and you break off the sugars too quickly, too fast.
And how
and
is
then
this
you have sugar
related with allergic reactions of some kind of, for example, penicillin and derivatives of penicillin?
Also, penicillin is also giving the explosion of...
Because it's the same kind of bacteria doing almost the same kind of effect.
Yeah. And if the liver is overloaded, then the ammonia from the large intestines, which is normally in the liver, diverted into proteins for our system. But the liver cannot do that anymore. So this ammonia is going right into the brain. So you've got an ammonia brain. And if you have that, then you cannot stand high frequency, high sounds. It's too much, and you cannot see very well because the light is too heavy in your eyes. It's the same if you drink too much alcohol. The next day you have a headache. You cannot hear the voice. People have to lower their voices because you get a headache and you get a brain fog. You cannot think clearly. And everything you try to think, it doesn't work. And what happens is that if you read a book, you read the letters, you read a sentence, but you cannot make words of it, you cannot make a story of it.
I have another question. Mircea, my good friend Mircea, he's osteopath. How do you make, for example, difference between this effect you say, and the same effect that produces, for example, contractions in your muscles, in the base of your
crown?
Yes. What will be the difference? Because it produces also brain fog.
Yes.
And problems with the vision.
Vision is liver and gallbladder.
No, the muscles. I mean the muscles here in the face, plus this one here.
Yes.
And the neck, they produce the same thing.
In many cases, there is also mycoplasma. Mycoplasma is making muscle tissue cramp, even the arteries. So you get high blood pressure. So these bacteria is making our muscles contract and make it cramp. So you have always pain in the neck, And a lot of Lyme patients, in the night, they bite very hard on their teeth. So the next day, the teeth is not fast, but it's moving. Because you press your muscles in your jaw is so strong. So you press the teeth into the bone, and the bone is going wider. Yes, I saw that a lot. Some people, the teeth are falling out. And always have pain in the neck because these muscles are too tight, too strong. See, and then you get neck pain. Also because Lyme disease, mycoplasma, and liver problem.
This is measurable, the liver problem. If you go to the liver and make yourself exam, for example, blood exam, it will go positive.
Yeah, and measurable in the sense also that if you, the person was very, very angry. He got something from the eyes he couldn't see, and it was only hitting someone. You see, people become very, very angry if they have a lot of Lyme disease, because the liver is always overworked. And then they buy bad vitamins, and vitamins with additions, and these additions also killing for the liver.
So my point is, if this thing is measurable, make it away. So you maybe have a problem, but if it's not measurable, maybe you have the same problem but different cause. Maybe. Okay. It was very important to discuss. Thank you.
Okay. The second thing is liver colon ammonia, leaky gut. And leaky gut, that means that the gut is leaking all the poisons into the bloodstream, also over the liver. What I found out that people had a lot of antibiotics. They had a lack of DPP-4 enzyme. And this enzyme is very important to lower the low inflammations, and is very important against allergic reactions, and it protects the psyche. And antibiotics is blocking the process of making DPP-4 enzyme in your intestines. Also, psychopharmaca is blocking the production of DPP-4 enzyme. And if you stop with eating this product, then you have to lack of DPP-4 enzyme. People have a brain problem because the psyche is not protected anymore. So then you end up at least into a psychiatric hospital. We make a Trojan horse. I'm sorry, the presentation is going through each other because it's all I think an Apple computer. But it's about B2. I found out that the Lyme bacteria is very found on the B2 vitamin. Riboflavin is B2 vitamin. And B2 vitamin is eaten by Borrelia bacteria. And in the small intestines, we have receptors with these receptors are B2 receptors, and that's why we ingested B2 in our system. But the Borrelia is going to sit on these receptors and eating all the B2 which is coming in your body away, and it's eating itself. So, if Borrelia is eating the B2, then we have a problem with our nervous system, because B6 needs B2 to digest it. And too much or too low B2 levels lead to a nervous problem. Nerves will be very, very, very sensitive for all kinds of radiation and feelings and everything. And if the B2 is eaten by Borrelia, how can you get the Borrelia? It's a very nice thing. If I know that it's beating B2, I upload the B2 with the frequencies of the Borrelia. and they make a bomb. So this bacteria is eating the B2, which I uploaded, and is exploding. And then the receptors are free again, and the body gets this B2, and then you can digest B12 and B6. It's a nice way to get the Borrelia bacteria. And, okay, one assistant of mine, I gave the first uploaded B2 pills, and she sat for 3 weeks on the toilet. Couldn't come to the practice because she was uploading all the bacteria from the system. It was very fun for me. Not fun. It's not fun. Okay, people who have a Borrelia problem are very anxious for, they have a lot of fears. They fear a lot because it's going onto the brain and in the kidneys. And kidneys and brain, if the Borrelia is going over there, and people are very afraid of going under a lot of people. Too much people is too much for them. They cannot stand that. Loss of confidence and all these kinds of things. We go over this, maybe very short. I measure a lot of radiation on sleeping places, and if that is not okay, then people cannot cure. Because these radiation from water veins or global fractures, they have a total blockage of curing people. Total blockage. And then also the radiations of phones and of radios and Wi-Fi. Total blockage for curing.
The cables in the wall also.
Cables in the wall, electric system, everything. Very sick people we do at nights, we kill the kill switch and the whole house is out of electricity. 3 minutes, 2 minutes? You see, this is also radiation, and we have to block this radiation. And there's another one coming. Oh yeah, this one. It's difficult to. Yes, not one. This one. Another blockage of curing is dental problems. Metals in dental. You see, it's every tooth is related to an organ. And if there is metals in, it's like a battery, car battery. It's making electricity, and the electricity is going to that organ. So, wisdom teeth is for your heart. If you have amalgam in your wisdom teeth, your heart is always electric, and then it's going berserk. Radiation, of course, and intelligence. This I want to explain. Our bodies have survived thousands of years of, how do we call that? Thousands of years of evolution. Our body doesn't have to be sick here. But there is a mind coming in, a soul. With all kinds of ideas and trauma. And I found out that the trauma in the brain is always related to one of 2 organs. And that organ will become Borrelia. Because Borrelia, or Lyme disease, is made for war. And this is the war into yourself. Your own war. And then this disease is attacking. My assistant had Lyme disease in her heart, and we found out that she was left alone as a baby. He was crying, and they drove her in the garage, so it was quiet. But the baby alone in the garage is a problem, isn't it? It's alone, and that's alone in the heart. And that was a trauma. So, Lyme disease found a way to her heart. And so we have to care that all is well. Okay. And now the photon system is, as you know, light. And light into the brain is dissolving the trauma, because trauma is darkness. So if you put a lot of light into your heart, into the trauma, then the trauma dissolves. And I see I have to stop now. Otherwise I get hit.